North Carolina, an Arctic storm is racing towards the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Quit it!
As Eustace struggles to wrangle his horses and bring them to...
Good day, good day. Turtle Island Preserve is offering some amazing events this weekend. Want you to know about it. You can sign up for a farm tour. Hey friends, ski season is here in the mountains up here in Boone, North Carolina, and I hope you guys might come to one of my signature rentals.
For more than 4 decades, sequestered deep within the treacherous Appalachian wilderness, Eustace Conway has been celebrated by millions as one of America's most resilient survival icons.
James has been asking me, like, how do you train those horses? So I just thought, well, if he's coming up here, he can actually learn too.
My name is James Waters.
Eustace is improvising a way to finish up his winter-long logging job by putting his young draft horse Dusty through a crash course in hauling.
Easy, girl.
At least you had enough cut there that it didn't swing it around into that building.
Thank goodness.
That was about where we wanted it.
This is the easy one.
But behind the television spotlight and the deep forest's veil lie hidden corners that have never been made public. From the bitter truth inside the Turtle Island domain and unexpected police raids to the brutal price of solitude as he enters his twilight years. Now, with time running out, the last wild man has officially broken his silence. The entire rawest truth is about to be laid bare. Eustace Conway was born in 1961 in the city of Columbia, South Carolina, into one of the most quintessential intellectual families of the era. His father, Dr. Eustace Robinson Conway III, was a renowned chemical engineering expert who graduated from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. In stark contrast to his illustrious academic reputation, the father maintained an authoritarian and extraordinarily harsh parenting method. Every effort by young Eustace was dismissed by his father, inflicting deep psychological wounds that endured for decades. Recalling the days of being berated and having his personal abilities denied by his father, Eustace once bitterly confessed to the press, "No matter what extraordinary thing I achieved in my father's eyes, I was always a failure." Unadulterated, to escape the suffocating familial pressure, young Eustace began seeking solace in the wild.
You heard of it? How well do you know it? It's just a short little piece. I mean, even a kid could learn it.
From the age of 7, he trained himself to accurately throw hunting knives and learned how to track wild forest animals. The milestone proving his extraordinary survival prowess occurred when Eustace turned 12. The young boy hiked deep into the dense forest alone, carrying absolutely no modern gear, and survived independently for an entire solid week. Eustace's youth passed in a state of turmoil between his family's academic expectations and his longing for a primal existence. He gradually grew to loathe the comfortable lifestyle of industrial society, where he believed humans were imprisoned by artificial conveniences. The turning point of his life arrived in 1978, when Eustace turned 17. He officially made the decision to sever ties with his family, abandoning his comfortable home to venture into the rugged mountains of the Appalachian Range in North Carolina. In this remote mountainous wilderness, Eustace built a traditional hide teepee with his own hands to serve as his shelter. Even more astonishingly, he maintained a primitive lifestyle inside that hide shelter for 17 consecutive years without electricity or heating. Throughout his youth, Eustace undertook a series of extraordinary survival journeys to test the limits of human endurance. He completed a hike along the entire Appalachian Trail, spanning over 2,000 miles, primarily foraging for food in the wild. Eustace's name caused further sensation with a horseback expedition across the American continent in 103 days. Even though historical records later indicated that the time record belonged to the Abernathy brothers, the journey still attested to his extraordinary willpower. Explaining his decision to abandon the civilized world and immerse himself in the harshness of untouched nature, Eustace stated, "Modern humans are killing their own souls inside boxes of comfort, while I choose to truly live between heaven and earth." Walking away from society to live freely is one matter, but turning that solitude into an autonomous empire is a completely different gamble. As Eustace began acquiring hundreds of acres of wilderness, he was not merely building a sanctuary, he was inadvertently creating an oasis riddled with brutal fractures. The dark side of the patriarchal empire. Entering the 1980s, Eustace Conway began realizing his ambition to build an independent domain in the wild. Using money saved from lectures and craft work, he purchased his first forest parcels in Laurel Creek Valley, Watauga County, North Carolina. Through years of continuously acquiring land, the preserve named Turtle Island officially took shape, expanding to over 1,000 acres. The entire area was designed to be completely cut off from modern utilities, consisting solely of primitive log cabins and traditional shelters. The core objective of Turtle Island was to serve as an outdoor survival education center, helping humans reconnect with their primal instincts. Eustace openly criticized modern, comfortable living viewing solid concrete buildings as cages that confine human willpower and autonomy. This model of secluded survival quickly drew the attention of American media. The image of a man living independently deep in the forest appeared extensively in prestigious publications, gradually establishing Eustace as a quintessential survival icon of the new era. In 1998, renowned author Elizabeth Gilbert traveled to Turtle Island to write a multi-part feature for GQ magazine. Recognizing the subject's complex psychological depth, she dedicated the following years to following Eustace's activities closely in order to complete an in-depth biography. In 2002, the book titled The Last American Man was officially published and instantly became a National Book Award finalist. The work propelled Eustace Conway's name beyond national borders, transforming him into a pop culture phenomenon that captivated millions of readers. Even so, Elizabeth Gilbert's investigative reporting did not romanticize the protagonist at all, exposing the brutal hidden realities at Turtle Island. Author Elizabeth Gilbert directly noted in the biography, "Eustace is an extraordinary man, but he always demands that those around him worship his ideals with unconditional devotion." Hundreds of people arrived at Turtle Island expecting a sustainable ecological paradise. In reality, what they faced was a grueling work schedule from early morning to late night under rigorous supervision. Many students openly walked away in exhaustion and resentment over the sense of being exploited for labor. Eustace's authoritarian temperament and strict demands for submission rapidly extinguished their initial enthusiasm. Psychological researchers pointed out a bitter paradox. Although he hated his harsh father throughout childhood, Eustace unconsciously replicated that authoritarian patriarchal model onto the very people who came to learn from him. That dark psychological corner also shattered his entire romantic life. Though possessing a rugged, captivating appearance, Eustace consistently set rigid standards for a partner that exceeded endurance limits. He demanded that a woman abandon civilized society, sew clothing from animal hides, and give birth in the deep forest. He once declared, "I am looking for a companion willing to endure hardship, to raise a wild generation." No one could stay long-term under such absolute control and deprivation. One by one, they all left, causing Eustace to enter his 40s in 2002 in total loneliness amidst a 1,000-acre domain. Turtle Island, back then, stood as both a monument to free will and evidence of the steep price of extremism. Eustace preserved his mountain isolation, but at the cost of alienating everyone close to him. For over 2 decades, Eustace believed Turtle Island was an inviolable kingdom beyond the reach of civilized society. But he was wrong. In the autumn of 2012, the modern world came knocking with inspection warrants, police officers, and handcuffs. The battle over building codes. In October 2012, the peaceful days in Laurel Creek Valley were completely shattered when the authorities intervened. An interagency delegation comprising building inspectors, health inspectors, and Watauga County Sheriff's deputies made a surprise inspection of Turtle Island. The inspection took place following a series of complaints submitted to state regulatory agencies. Watauga County officials immediately afterward issued an emergency closure order and forced the evacuation of all students and staff residing at the preserve. The citation enumerated a series of serious violations under the North Carolina State Building Code. All the handcrafted log structures, shelters, and living teepees built by Eustace with his own hands were deemed illegal constructions lacking building permits. Alongside the absence of a power grid connection, and standard hot water authorities paid special attention to the field sanitation system. The sawdust composting biological toilets, long a source of pride in Eustace's natural lifestyle, were concluded to be in serious violation of environmental sanitation and safety standards. While the building code crisis was still simmering, another legal event dealt a heavy blow to Eustace's image. In December, local public opinion was shaken when Watauga County Police officially executed an arrest warrant for the founder of Turtle Island. The arrest stemmed from a prolonged and increasingly bitter property boundary dispute with neighbor Margaret Palms. This woman filed a complaint accusing Eustace of trespassing, unilaterally chaining an access gate shut, and posting placards onto her family's mailbox. Eustace was prosecuted in local court on charges of second-degree trespassing. Although his attorneys subsequently worked to settle the matter, the image of a survival legend being placed in handcuffs caused severe damage to the preserve's reputation. Facing the risk of complete eradication, Eustace refused to surrender to administrative rulings. Instead of compromising or modernizing the property to urban standards, he chose the path of direct confrontation at the highest levels of government to protect his primal living philosophy. In early 2013, Eustace made a striking appearance at a hearing before the North Carolina Building Code Council. Appearing in rustic, self-sewn buckskin attire, he directly confronted the state's top engineers and planning experts. At the tense hearing, Eustace forcefully declared before the council, "You cannot impose the concrete standards of the industrial world onto primitive wooden and straw survival structures that sustained our ancestors for thousands of years." His argument sparked a powerful wave of support from the public and cultural preservationists across the United States. Tens of thousands of online signatures were collected in just a few weeks, putting unprecedented pressure on lawmakers in the North Carolina General Assembly. Commenting on this historic legal struggle, a legal representative at the hearing emphasized, "This is not just Eustace's battle, but the boundary between the freedom of traditional survival and the control of the modern legal system." Thanks to intense public pressure, the North Carolina General Assembly officially passed a special bill designated HB 774. The new legislation granted exemptions from modern building codes for primitive educational survival structures, paving the way for Turtle Island to reopen legally. Having just escaped the brink of bankruptcy and imprisonment, Eustace's name shone brightly once again on American television screens. But television fame brought no peace at all. On the contrary, it opened up new controversies and thrust him into the greatest loss of his life. The pain of losing a soulmate. In the summer of 2012, the History Channel officially began airing the reality television series Mountain Men. The show rapidly became a massive media sensation across the United States, drawing millions of regular viewers with each broadcast episode. Eustace Conway immediately became the central figure commanding special attention in the television project. The portrayal of his grueling survival existence in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina was delivered straight to family screens across the globe. The warm reception from television audiences earned Eustace vital financial compensation. This revenue allowed him to settle the accumulated land tax debts from his previous legal battles once and for all, while continuing to fund the preserve. Even so, his widespread media prominence brought forth a wave of fierce public skepticism. Many viewers and television critics began questioning the authenticity of the dire emergencies repeatedly showcased in each season. Behind-the-scenes investigative reports later confirmed that although Eustace's manual craftsmanship skills were entirely authentic, the producers actively edited scenes to dramatize encounters with wild beasts and looming financial deadlines. A member of the show's production crew once candidly admitted to the media, "Eustace truly lives primitively deep in the forest, but we were forced to stage additional conflict elements to keep small-screen viewers engaged." Amidst the whirlwind pressure of reality television, Eustace's most vital emotional anchor was Preston Roberts. Preston was a talented local art teacher, a skilled woodworker, and his steadfast companion for more than 3 decades. Ever since they met in the early 1980s, Preston had consistently stood alongside Eustace through every arduous task. He felled timber, constructed dozens of traditional log cabins, and helped coordinate field skills workshops for younger generations at Turtle Island. Endowed with a calm, warm, and generous temperament, Preston was the only person capable of tempering Eustace's volatile temper and extreme patriarchal tendencies. He served as a peaceful bridge connecting the master of Turtle Island with the students and the outside world. A heartbreaking crisis struck unexpectedly in the early summer of 2017 as Preston's health deteriorated sharply. Following persistent sudden episodes of pain, doctors diagnosed him with an inoperable terminal malignant liver tumor. The disease advanced at a terrifying pace, rendering all medical interventions powerless. A mere 3 weeks after the diagnosis, Preston Roberts drew his final breath on July 24, 2017, at the age of 60, mourned with profound sorrow. Preston's sudden departure dealt a devastating blow to Eustace Conway's psyche. The resilient man who had braved thousands of miles of blizzards and deep forest solitude completely collapsed before the grief of losing his soulmate. During the tear-filled memorial gathering at Turtle Island, Eustace choked back emotion as he spoke before hundreds of attendees. "Preston was not merely a brother who shared my path. He was half of my soul and the most steadfast anchor of my life." For the first time in his existence, he deeply grasped that the relentless cruelty of time and mortality was something no survival willpower could ever reverse. Having lost his dearest friend and bearing the weight of Turtle Island alone amidst the harsh march of time, Eustace recognized that youth and primal strength could not protect him forever. Now, as he confronts the twilight of his years, rumors have begun to swirl once again. The final confirmation of truth. By late 2023, fans of the reality television series Mountain Men suddenly noticed the complete absence of Eustace Conway. This abrupt disappearance instantly ignited a wave of false rumors across social media that he had passed away in solitude. Local news sources nonetheless quickly verified that Eustace remained safe on his Appalachian homestead. His proactive withdrawal from commercial filming contracts was in fact intended to preserve his physical stamina, as the signs of aging increasingly weighed on his body. After more than 4 decades of maintaining absolute control, the wild man began preparing for the transition of his legacy. He clearly recognized that one individual's physical strength could not sustain the operation of such an expansive homestead indefinitely. The Turtle Island Preserve was officially restructured into a 501c3 nonprofit organization under United States law. Executive authority was subsequently transferred to a professional board of directors, ensuring that the forest would be preserved in perpetuity even after his passing. Explaining his decision to empower the next generation, Eustace once shared in an in-depth interview, "This land never belonged solely to me. It belongs to nature, and that educational mission must continue to exist when I am no longer in this world." In late 2024, a catastrophic natural disaster tested Eustace's survival resolve once more. The historic Hurricane Helene swept across western North Carolina, severely devastating transportation infrastructure and completely isolating the Watauga Valley. At the epicenter of the natural disaster crisis, Eustace became the focus of media attention by posting a series of videos providing updates on the situation on the ground. The authentic footage, capturing violent mudslides and manual relief efforts, garnered millions of views online. Nonetheless, his statements regarding casualty figures and his sharp criticisms directed at the government's relief operations ignited a wave of debate. Although stirring mixed reactions, the incident once again affirmed his outspoken and unyielding character. Entering his 60s, the portrait of Eustace's personal life emerges with quiet stillness and extreme solitude. He never married, has no children to carry on his lineage, and possesses no luxurious assets beyond the vast expanses of forest to which he has dedicated his entire life. Many cultural analysts observe that Eustace's ambition to liberate modern humans from the gears of technology did not succeed as envisioned. Digital society relentlessly continues to advance, turning his way of life into a symbolic, secluded oasis, rather than a mass solution. Faced with changing times, Eustace does not shy away from acknowledging the bitter truth about the path he chose. He admits that the greatest cost of steadfastness to the point of stubbornness is solitude, and the sorrow of watching his companions gradually drift away. Looking back over his entire journey, the last wild man affirms with a calm demeanor, "I may have failed to change the world, but this world has never been able to conquer or corrupt my soul." From your perspective, is Eustace Conway a steadfast hero defending natural heritage, or merely a stubborn figure left behind by time? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below so we can discuss together. If this video brought you useful insights and an authentic perspective, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on the notification bell to catch our upcoming special biographical features. Goodbye, and see you again.